Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 12 of What If Naruto Was Too Advanced for His Age. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, stay in tune for the brand new episode of What If Naruto Became the God of Lightning over an Anime King, which I do hope that you guys enjoy. And I'm going to be posting a new episode over on Anime King 3 as well. So stay in tune for that and I really hope that you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King 2, and Anime King 3. Yes, I have 3 channels guys. Go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for helping your support. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, as the daimyo got a letter from the other daimyo, the man wanted to talk a peace talk, as the daimyo that had hired Uncle and her team knew that the man would try to kill him, so the team went there to back him up, and his daughter was safely brought back to Konoha by the other team that Minato had stationed there. So with that, everything was better. As they made their way towards the capital, as Neji arrived, as he saw with his gun, that there were Kumo ninjas lying all over the place. Yes, the man definitely wanted to try something. So Neji and Naruto both infiltrated from the high tower as they took out everyone inside. As they came down, they brought down every single one of them. They opened the door as Uncle took out the Jonins, and with that, they made their way into the office. The daimyo quickly pressed the button to call in his support, but no one came. And he was forced to actually talk a true talk as the Konoha ninja stood behind him. So with that, the mission was finally over as they made their way back to Konoha after doing missions after missions. Arriving there, they had to give a debrief to the Hokage. It was rather long, seeing the amount of missions they got. But they received their payment in their bank account. And also, all the clients were satisfied with the mission that went on. And they were going to look to Konoha for future missions. So with that, they were given a week and a half rest. After all, they had took so much consistent missions. As Minato was happy to see his son again. As he hugged him, he missed him a lot. After all, Kushina was always at the hospital lately. And Naruto was not there, so sometime going home. Despite it was a long time ago when he didn't have any parents, he felt the same way, all alone, despite he knew where they were. But it was still difficult. But he was back now, and Kushina was gonna have Maseo anytime now. Speaking of that, Naruto made his way to the hospital as he saw Yujiro there. He greeted both of the most important ladies in his life. As he hugged his mother as she got up and she was so happy to see him, unharmed, as she pinched his cheeks. She had been telling Yujiro all the embarrassing stories about Naruto. Kushina assured them that she was fine so the both of them could catch up with each other. And that they did. But she was given a long-term mission after that. Just after he returned, she was given a mission. So they didn't have much time to spend with each other. Minato decided to help Naruto with the final step towards the lightning cannonball jutsu, which he did. As that night Naruto was summoned, or his mind was invaded, seeing that the wolf suddenly appeared beside him. The wolf has variety of techniques, and the first one the wolf will be teaching Naruto is to blend himself within shadow, so his opponent could never know when he's upon them. That was quite shocking, to completely erase yourself within shadow. He knew of a technique that his godfather used for stealth, but the one that the wolf told him about just sounded amazing, as Naruto really wanted to try that. So yeah guys, so it's basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the playlist and check it out for yourself. So what do you say we begin this new episode? 1 week had passed as Naruto continued to train some of his defensive techniques, like his lightning barrier and the one that Fenrir taught him, as he was able to use his chakra to manipulate his shadow. It was difficult, but he was able to focus chakra through his shadow. It got easier the more he tried it. But he slept a lot of late afternoons, seeing that it took a lot of chakra. And he also started to focus on water ninjutsu as well, as he wanted to learn a third element. But right now he wasn't thinking about any training or anything like that. He was only thinking about his new to be born sister Miseo. Currently, he was sitting down the waiting room. As Yuji was there, she was holding on to his hand. His father was walking from side to side. The light in the door then shut off, as both Naruto and Minato quickly snapped their head towards the door. The doctor walked out with a smile on his face. He was responsible for delivering Naruto a long time ago, and now he was given the honor of delivering the Hokage daughter as well. The man saw how anxious the Hokage was, as he told him everything went fine. It was that same nervous look he got on his face when Naruto was being born, as he had a beautiful baby daughter. The both of them went inside, as Kushina was on the bed, holding her daughter and smiling deeply at her. As she looked up to see Minato and Naruto, as she started to cry, tears of joy, as their family just gained a new member, as all of them thought the same thing. Welcome to the family, Miseo Namikaze, they thought. Time skip. Naruto, can you prepare Miseo's milk for me? Kushina said loudly, as she heard a voice of acknowledgement. His voice was a lot deeper. Kushina looked down to her baby, as she brought her nose down to tickle her baby nose. It had been 2 years since Miseo had born, and she was exact copy of Kushina, just like Naruto was the exact copy of Minato. Her red hair already reached her tiny shoulders. As she changed her clothes, she had some beautiful, sparkling earring in her ears. It was given to her by Naruto's girlfriend, Yuji, from a mission to the hidden waterfall village. As she tickled her baby once again as she laughed. She was just glad that nothing has happened with the hidden stone regarding her daughter. But they wouldn't dare to try something anymore. After all, with her husband here and her son, now known as the Kazaru, that being stand for the Wind Dragon. As she remembered what Minato told her, that Naruto was listed as a B-rank ninja in the Hidden Stone Bingo book as Kazaru. As she remembered the mission that Naruto explained to her why he got that name. Flashback. Naruto was sent on a mission towards Earth Country along with two Chunins, Katetsu and Aizumo. Normally, his team would accompany him, but Neji was sent as a diplomat towards Taki for the Hyuga clan, so the Hokage issued both Anko and Tenten to accompany him and send Naruto with two other Chunins. The mission was rather simple. It was to retrieve a simple document from a merchant house that acquires stolen document through the black market. Entering and leaving unnoticed was rather easy because of Naruto Wolf Clan Shadow Jutsu. However, Naruto team didn't believe that the man wouldn't hire Stone Shinobi for his protection, so they would have to engage in combat. Aizumo and Kitetsu dealt with half of them, as they used mostly water attacks along with certain weapons. Naruto was left with two Chunins and a Jonin, as all of them started to come down on him as he performed his new technique, Wind Release, Wind Dragon Jutsu, as he started to mold the chakra into thin air, as he created a massive wind dragon that roared. It slammed into all of them, as the Chunins were sent sailing as a Jonin tried to swallow his own, but Naruto simply added more chakra as the wind dragon grew 2 sizes larger as he swallowed the man. After reporting the success of the mission, when they get back to the village, Minato handed Naruto the bingo book 2 days later, as his name was inside as the Wind Dragon. In the flashback, as he walked into the room, as he handed Kushina what she wanted, as she thanked him. In 2 years, Naruto has grown up to even look more like his father. He let his hair grow. His forehead protector could barely hold it back from falling down on his forehead anymore. His clothes remained the same as before, well, a bit longer. But now near the heart area was a white dragon. Mother, do you need anything else? Naruto asks. No thanks, Naruto-kun, she said. Your father is waiting for you at the office. It wouldn't be nice for you to show up late at the appointment, she said. As Naruto nodded and said goodbye to his mother, and he headed off. As he started to walk through the streets, everyone was looking at him as he passed by. The shinobi part looked at him with admiration and respect, but few of them looked at him like they were seen as smaller Minato. The civilian male population only view him as a fourth Hokage-san. The woman part was something else entirely though. Because of his looks, both Kunoichi and civilians, ladies, look at him with a different intention. But he knew they wouldn't try anything to try and ask him out once again. They wouldn't want to see Yuji or Wrath anymore. Smiling, he remembered one time when a girl from his class back then tried her luck with him. As he hadn't seen her for a long time, seeing that, well, he hadn't been to school in a couple of years now. But she told him that she always liked him, and that she, well, wanted to go on a date with him. He declined, saying that he already had someone. He tried to be nice about it, but she tried to persuade him from stop dating an older woman and go out with her instead. As Naruto could still remember her face when Yuji arrived in her envoy uniform and asked her what she was doing with her boyfriend, even though he explained to her that he already had a girlfriend. The girl quickly vanished from sight when Yuji started to release some killer intent. She then turned towards Naruto as she smiled. Their relationship evolved a lot over the last 2 years. Apart from their respective missions and everything else, they coordinate their time, so they could go on double dates most time and sometime alone. As Asuma and Kurona was dating now, and Anko and Aruka as usual, and also some alone time for them. Naruto paused as his face became red, a drop of blood coming out of his nose when he remembered their first time together. Clearly, the both of them were so nervous about the entire thing. They never make a bigger step than they were ready for, and just safe to say the both of them were being hesitant. And the fact that the both of them were not really experiencing that, they both went to people to ask them about it. As Naruto asked Jiraiya, and Yuji asked Anko, well, those were the two completely wrong people to ask, because they twist that vision into things that they like, and that wasn't normal for anyone first time. In the end, they just decided to go with the flow. It happened 2 weeks ago, and it would have happened more time, but Yuji was at the Envoy HQ, as she was supposed to train the new rookies that enroll, and Naruto was sent on missions almost twice a week. His Wolfgang abilities gave him a powerful infiltration ability that most ninjas didn't really have, so the Hokage usually sent him on that kind of missions. As Naruto looked up as he saw the tower in front of him. Meanwhile, Minato was reading one of the reports from Yamato about Orochimaru. He knew that a long-term mission can be rather stressful as he looked at the man in front of him. You're out there, alone. Despite knowing that you can get back up but it will take a while to arrive, still, you're in the enemy territory. And there was time when Yamato didn't even have time to sleep because the damn snake would be in constant move, mostly late in the night like midnight. You're dismissed, Yamato. I'm sorry about this burden I placed on you, so it's only right that I grant you a 2-week vacation. Report here afterwards. Yamato nodded before vanishing. The man hadn't slept in some time now. Minato turned back to the report. When Yamato left, he got weekly reports back to the Hokage. In 2 years, Orochimaru traveled all through the elemental nation to improve the seal. The seal at Minato, probably the only seal that he disapproved of. The curse mark, while it grant and increase the user's speed and power, it corrupt their mind and their sanity. Anko was the only one that Orochimaru tested on, but her will was strong enough to resist the seal and the hold that it might have on her. But that didn't mean that she was completely freed from the snake's grasp. According to Yamato's report, Orochimaru managed to improve the seal by sacrificing many humans for it. Yamato also saw 5 teenagers that had the seal. One of them happened to be the last remnant of the Kaguya clan. Upon the seal activation, the body received a dose of power. And when they tap into their level 2 form, they're able to go toe-to-toe with a mid-Jonin level ninja. Minato had looked over Uncle's seal, so he knew the seal quite well, with the first activation spreading that malice corrupted chakra through the body. The second one always alterate the body a bit, giving the user a different form, different shape, to enhance their strength and speed and power. Minato took in a breath as he turned in his chair. He got up as he looked through the window, looking down towards the village. As the third that did this many times before, He never understood why, but now being Hokage he understood. The Hokage position was to protect the people down below, and by looking at them moving carefree, happily, it sent a tranquility through his heart of pure peace to know that he's doing his job rather well. The next mission was an espionage mission to one of Orochimaru's contacts inside Fire Country, as he received reports that Orochimaru had someone in the Fire Daimyo's castle that has been sending him constant reports, also on the economic aspects, and some knowledge that the daimyo would have access to, like some of Konoha, well, not anything too specific, but the daimyo was still up on top of the food chain. After all, he was in charge of the entire Fire Country, and that person has been sending Orochimaru reports. Another thing Minato was worried about was the contact to the other countries. The Sand was allied with Konoha, Kiri was neutral, Kumo made a close neutral pact once Raikage came to see during exams. The Hidden Stone was still bitter after the Third Great Shinobi War, and they still are. But the Hidden Stone wouldn't try to attack Konoha, especially with him here, and his son as well. He felt immense pride, knowing that his son was known as the Winged Dragon in their bingo book. Some people should fear this, but knowing how powerful this boy was, and that he could handle himself, Minato felt pride. He will have to send someone to check out the Hidden Stone, to find out if they were going to try anything. After all, he couldn't be caught surprised if an invasion happened. There was a knock on the door as Team 8 entered. Minato was also proud of Team 8, Kurenai's team, as they had excelled in mission gathering. Kurenai, I have a B-rank espionage mission for your team, and it's in the capital of Fire Country. I'll give the detail once your 5th member arrives, said Minato. Excuse me, Hokage-sama, she said, but why do we need a 5th member for an espionage mission? Even though this is the espionage mission, chances of this mission backfiring are too high of a risk for me to send your team alone. My policy happened to be the protection of my shinobis, and I don't want to send you on this mission without having backup just in case. Don't worry though, Kurenai-san. This little insurance of mine have nothing to do with your team ability to handle these kind of missions. Team 8 has excelled in information gathering missions, and I'm proud of your team achievements. Kurenai nodded as she felt proud of her team as well. Hinata blushed a bit for the appraisal. Kiba got a big pride boost. Shino simply nodded. After all, the Abermi was like that always. Another knock as Naruto came in the room. Hokage-sama, you called for me, he said. He then spotted Team 8. Kurenai-san, how are you doing, he said. Oh, very good, Naruto-kun, she said. Oh, Asuma was searching for you for something. I kinda forgot what it was. How is Yujiro-chan, she asked. It's been a while since I last saw her. She got stuck in Onvu HQ for a while, apparently. A new Onvu group arrived, and she's in there for teaching. Minato cleared his throat. Both of them apologized as they turned for the mission report. Alright, Naruto, you and Team 8 will go towards Fire Country capital. Your target is a man called Hito Takagashi, and he is rumored to be a direct supplier of information to Orochimaru. Team 8 members were surprised, as a serious look was in Kurenai and Naruto's eyes. Minato slid a file forward on his desk. Inside this file, you will see a photo of said man and location of his residence inside the office. Your mission is to spy on him for the duration of 2 weeks. You are to find out what kind of information that this man is passing on to Orochimaru. The next part of the mission will be chosen upon the situation at hand. This man is to be neutralized. However, you can decide if he is supposed to be killed or arrested for conspiracy against the daimyo. Both choices have the same result, something that Orochimaru would be notified about. Hokage-sama, said Naruto, is there any security detail to protect his life, given the job that he's currently commencing in? Yes, he isn't stupid. He knows that his life is in danger, knowing what he's doing, seeing that he's directly inside Fire Country. We don't know which one, but he has a Misenin, a Kumo Misenin, on his payroll. Your job on this mission will be providing security to Team 8 while they do their job, said Minato as he looked towards Naruto. Naruto nodded. Time skip. Outside the office, they were scheduled to leave in some time now, but Naruto figured that he would visit Yujiro to see if they can grab a quick lunch. But as he hopped from rooftop to rooftop, he was stopped by Asuma, as he remembered that Asuma wanted to see him. Naruto was looking for you. Here's the new weapons, he said, as he handed Naruto a trench knife. They were bigger than before. You surely noticed the elongated steel that will protect us better against Kinjutsu attacks. And this new metal allow our ability to travel through the weapon rather easier and also store some of it inside, so we don't have to constantly pour it inside. The only setback is the weight, but I don't think that will be a problem to the Wind Dragon, Asuma said, as Naruto blushed in praise, as that made Asuma laugh. I'm really proud of you, Naruto. Even though I only happen to be your sensei for a month for Chunin exams, I feel that we have a strong bond, and we also represent the minority of Konoha that possess wind nature. And the fact that you co-op my style make it even better. So I want you to test out the new trench knife and tell me how they feel, Asuma said. Naruto nodded as he asked Asuma if he used it before. I did use it, but it was against a C rank missing. So far, not anything difficult. But you can do that in your new assignment. Naruto nodded as he appreciated the new weapon, as the group separated. As Naruto made his way towards Anbu HQ, asking around for a cat, as he hoped that she wasn't too busy to see him. But when he saw her walking towards him, he smiled. As he was standing at the receptionist, Anbu-san, there's a couple of things I wish to speak to you about. Could you accompany me outside, said Naruto. She nodded, rather professionally, as the both of them made their way outside. Once outside, Naruto used a wind sunshine, as he vanished. They appear on top of the Hokage monument. As she removed her mask, I don't know, but it's like you got more beautiful than before, said Naruto. She threw her arms around him as the both of them share a passionate, long kiss. They broke the kiss. Naruto-kun, it's been so long. I'm sorry I didn't have the time to meet up with you, she said. It's just that this new group of Onmu training, it's really... She was cut off as he planted his lips on her lips. Yujiro-chan, don't worry about me. It's a job, right, said Naruto. We all have our responsibilities. Besides, just by seeing your face and kissing your lips, it was all worth the wait, he said. She tackled him down towards the ground as she started to kiss him. He had this thing about him that he could set her off with just a few words. How much time do you have, she asked. About 20 minutes, he said. Why? Oh, Naruto-kun, she said. Do I really need to explain? As she gave him that look, and he knew what that meant. After 18 minutes, the both of them lie there. As the both of them were looking up at the sky, Yujiro-chan, I'll miss you greatly, said Naruto. My mission is to take 2 weeks' time, said Naruto. I know, Naruto-kun, she said, but I don't mind the wait, as long as you return to me back in my arms, she said. As she got up and started to place her armor back on, I have to go, she said. Be careful out there, she said. Naruto nodded and put his clothes on. You know I am, he said. Time skip. At the gate, Team 8 was waiting on their 5th member to arrive. Kiba kept asking questions after questions about Naruto. Since his mission to Earth Country that got him named the Wind Dragon, he became the center of younger shinobis, and Kiba was no different. It was the same thing with Minato after the Yellow Flash, but Naruto was taken to the younger generations that will grow up very soon and become the head of the village, the stronger ones. Suddenly, the wind started to pick up around them as a small typhoon grew in front of them before it dispersed. Sorry I'm late, guys, said Naruto. I'm ready to go, he said. Kurenai nodded, as with that they start to walk through the gates, making their way to the forest. 30 minutes passed and Naruto was getting really annoyed because Kiba, as he was constantly talking, yes, non-stop talking, also saying things that Naruto never did before, like he used a wind jutsu to send 40 enemies flying. He never sent that amount of enemies. He never even faced off against so many enemies, and not to mention Kiba said that he heard that they were all Jonins. Well, that was completely wrong. Rumors were already spreading, as Kiba kept on telling him things that were crazy. Hinata already knew Naruto, as he and her cousin were on the same team. But she knew about his recent fame at being the Wind Dragon. But when she asked Kurenai a question, she kept her voice really low. The group then moved on to the trees as Naruto and Kurenai was at the front. I remember what you said about Kiba, he whispered, but I never knew he could be so noisy. Well, he kind of worshipped you. Ever since what happened, it has been non-stop talking about the Wind Dragon. And he's not the only one, said Kurenai, as Naruto nodded at that. But there was a doubt in the back of Naruto's mind. After all, given who his father is, He wondered if people was just acting this way because his father was Minato. Did they think that a new Yellow Flash was coming or something? Well, at least his name was different, but Minato saw that doubt within him, as he had spoke to him about it a couple months ago. Flashback. After performing a new water release technique, water release, destruction tunnel jutsu, Naruto dropped to his knees exhausted, as he's been going at it for the longest time now, with different caliber of water ninjutsu, not to mention the water barrier jutsu, not to mention taijutsu, speed train and everything. As he was exhausted, not to mention using an elemental attack that wasn't your affinity, took a lot more chakra, as he panted on the ground, but he was getting stronger no matter what. His father was observing him with nothing but pure pride upon seeing his son abilities. But something that Kushina told him, well, it really unnerved him, and he wanted to spoke to Naruto about it. Hey there Naruto, he says, he came over. I see that you're really handling the water affinity well, given that it's not your affinity, said Minato. As Naruto nodded as he pulled himself up and sat down. Minato sat down as he got comfortable. Your mother told me about something concerning you, and I want to talk to you about it, son. Dad, I already know what you want to talk about, said Naruto. And I don't know why I feel this way, but I just do. I just don't know how to divide. Who worship my skills because of whose son I am, or because of all the hard training I do, but except for my family, my girlfriend, and a couple of close friends when it comes to my training, said Naruto. Minato nodded as he understood. I happen to hear a lot of people referring to you as my son, instead of calling you Naruto, he said. And that clearly was what triggered this feeling of yours, said Minato. The truth is, son, everyone always look up to someone, and that is what motivates the younger generation of becoming stronger, to surpass in the older generation. Yeah, but living in the shadow of the Yellow Flash is practically impossible. How can I ever hope to surpass you, father? Minato sighed. Naruto, don't be like this. You're one of this village's strongest shonin so far, and your team is responsible for many great accomplishments over the past couple of months. I'll have you know, when I was at your age, I look at the third Hokage and Jiraiya, sensei, the same way that you're looking at me right now. The third Hokage was apprenticed by both the first and the second Hokage, son. The old man knows next to 1,000 jutsus and all elements, and survived 2 great wars. How could I not look up to him and try to surpass him, son? In the end, my knowledge of Fuinjutsu helped me a lot. Both the Harashin and Rasengan helped me, won many battles, and I was given a name as the Yellow Flash. But I can tell you, at your age, I was nowhere near the level of skill that you are right now. Hell, you already have 3 affinities, plus you possess the Wolf contract. You should have more faith in yourself, Naruto, because in the end, the only target that you will overcome is yourself. End the flashback. That time, I was still not known as the Wind Dragon. But I guess my father is right. I still have a lot of time to make my name known for myself, said Naruto to himself. So with that, the group traveled on for another good 35 minutes. Time started to get rather dark. Once they were on the ground, Kurenai decided to give them each their task, as they could travel at night, but it wasn't advisable. Kiba and Shino went to gather some food and water for them, while she and Hinata would fix the camp. Naruto for his part was responsible for the camp security measures, keeping them all safe. Minato, being the seal master that he was, taught Naruto about Fuinjutsu, as there was a camp security seal that he placed around the area, and the other being a trap seal that kept the enemy occupied until they were ready to escape or they were ready to face off against battle against them. And the alarm seal was created by Naruto Chakra, so if there was a breach, he would be alarmed the second it happened. Once that was all over, everyone gathered up near the fire as the girls started to prepare fish for everyone. Shino wondered about Naruto this. Why a dragon and not a wolf? As Naruto remembered, the wolf, well, being a bit angry, seeing that he didn't engrave a wolf in his clothing pattern. So Shino decided to ask. The white dragon represent the technique that earned me the name, said Naruto, as he looked toward Shino. The Hokage believed that people might not know my reputation from appearance alone, so the symbol would be a reminder of sorts. On a personal matter, I wouldn't say I like to be recognized like this, because the worstest thing for a ninja is to draw attention to yourself if attention is not needed. Shino simply nodded at the answer. The boy was quite, well, calm and refrained from loud talking like Kiba, as the group ate in silence as they ate their fish. But Hinata was wondering something even though she never said it out loud. Why did he say Hokage-sama instead of father? But she never said it out loud. Kiba quickly asks what was his techniques, what can he do? As, knowing that the boy was gonna piss him until he told him, Naruto decided to tell them. As Kurenai saw all of their attention, even Hinata, was wrapped on Naruto. The younger generation saw him. What? The older generation saw Minato as. The way he spoke about his skills. And given that she was one of the persons that knew exactly how dangerous he was, she knew that his skills demand respect. After all, he could defeat and take on many Jonins twice his age. And she saw the Genins looked up to him like the perfect role model for them to get stronger, something she really appreciated. Another thing was he didn't like to keep the spotlight on himself for too long, as he didn't just take all the credits. When Kiba said that he did all of his missions perfectly, he brought up his team members, like Tenten and his girlfriend, being weapon expert. And when he was partnered with Neji Hyuga, the prodigy of the Hyuga clan, it was hard to find an enemy that these two could not beat. As Kurenai knew how powerful that team became, after all she heard from Anko herself that on many missions she didn't even do anything. When they were given the mission, the team simply went out and dealt with everything on their own. All of them had become quite stronger over the past 2 years. Kiba was confused as Naruto was going to do the night watch, as they were going to switch. Kurenai simply told him that Naruto enjoyed the full moon. Kiba knew that his mother, told him that Wolf and Dog didn't really get along for some reason, despite her dog being almost of a hybrid between wolf and dog. But it was strange, natural wolves. He didn't know why, but for some reason, when it comes to Naruto, there was just this air of calm around him. Kiba simply shrugged it off as he went to get some sleep, to rest up for the mission tomorrow. Back at the office with Minato, as Minato was currently doing some paperwork, when someone hopped on the windowsill. As he already knew it was. I told you a lot of times before. Use the damn door, Minato said. The man simply laughed as he flipped and landed right in front of the decks. Hello there, my student, Jiraiya said, landing in a rather absurd manner. How is the Namikaze family doing nowadays? We're doing great, thank you. It will be good if you come to visit Naruto a bit though. You're his godfather after all. Sorry about that, Minato, but you know I've been rather busy. The snake is on the move again. I just couldn't leave him and come here. Besides, the kid is doing quite fine. I heard about the recent scabacle with the hidden stone and him, and about his new name, said Jiraiya with a proud smile. Like father, like son. That made Minato smile, as he was really proud of his son. Well, I came here to tell you something intriguing, and it involved the hidden stone, said Jiraiya, as Minato got serious. Minato already had the security when Naruto was younger, but everything was boosts, not to mention he already had Harishing seals all over the house, and one on Misao's crib just in case. After all, if anything was to happen to his little girl, if anything was to happen to his family, he would literally lose his mind. He turned towards Jiraiya fully to hear the information. As you know from Yamato's reports, Orochimaru has been spotted all over the nation, and it seems like he's been speaking with all of the Kages. The San, Kumo and Kira declined him even coming near to them. But the Tishikage did not decline the offer. The content of the conversation I wasn't able to acquire, but the both of them are planning something. I was able to find a man in the daimyo's castle that was sending information to Orochimaru about Konoha, both economically and military strength. I sent Kurenai and her team along with Naruto to find out what is going on before neutralizing the man, either arresting or killing him. I've already spoken to the daimyo to not get involved, because the rat would get suspicious and abandon the entire thing. Jiraiya smiled at that, seeing that Minato already have everything covered. Most time Minato always wondered if he could protect the village like his predecessors, always thinking about the responsibility, always thinking about his other predecessors who was able to put their life on the line, to put everything on the line for the village, as he wondered if he would be there to save and help and protect just in case. But it didn't matter what happened from now on. He was Hokage, and he would do the best for the village no matter what. Time skip. The next day, when Kurna woke up, as she still wondered how could Naruto stay through the night like that. As she told her team about it, but she herself was still surprised about it, as he would always be just fine. It was like most time he didn't even have to sleep. She wondered if it was a wolf thing, as he told her that his body was accustomed to it by now. She made her way as she saw Naruto playing shogi with a two-tailed wolf. She knew that he was alert. Besides, if anyone was to step in the perimeter, he'd be sent right away. After some time, they headed off, as Kurna and Naruto was discussing the possibility of the missing nin. Naruto, my team is ready to face any missing nin on their own, and I doubt that it is not below A rank. I didn't have much time to address you regarding your abilities, but I imagine as a team, they will be able to carry out the infiltration mission. However, I'm afraid we will have to stick together at all times, and Naruto. At the worst possible scenario, we would split up while you go with them while I go alone, or vice versa. Either way, this man has sensitive information. He knows that he's doing something dangerous, so he will always have his missing nin ready. So that is why we always have to be on guard as well. Kurna nodded she understood that. And after all, if the missing nin was mid or high Jonin level, neither she or Naruto could protect the children while fighting at the same time. So one of them will have to keep the children out of it, while the other one take him on. It made Kurna wonder if Naruto's skills were enough. He was a B rank level in the stone bingo book. For a Chunin, Naruto was unbeatable in battle with any other Chunins. He could take on low and possibly go up to mid Jonin, but for high or some of the stronger mid Jonins. Hell, if the guy was immune to her genjutsu and he was a Jonin as well with the skills and the experience, she doubted if her ability was good enough. But she had to make a choice. You have a responsibility to send Naruto cutting her off before she could speak, to protect her students. So I'll take on the missing nin. You can support me with long-range ninjutsu. That was exactly what she wanted to say. But he beat her to it. After all, said Naruto with a smile, we have to keep on protecting the next generation. As he glanced towards the team, as he saw how caring Kurna was for them, Hinata was like her little sister, while the two boys were like her little brothers. I guess you're right on the spot, Naruto. But do you think you'll be able to take on the man? Naruto nodded. I was considering that. Considering that he's a Kumo missing in. It's very, well, thinkable to know that he will attack us with lightning ninjutsu, which is weak against wind ninjutsu. I don't know about his other abilities, but in case he's a ninjutsu, or genjutsu specialist or taijutsu specialist, I have to watch out for them. My taijutsu is okay, but if he's a genjutsu specialist, I guess you will have to step in, said Naruto. She looked at him with a rather smug look, as she remembered when he decided to focus on ninjutsu and taijutsu, completely forgetting about the illusional arts. At last you recognize the superiority when it comes to genjutsu. Well, don't worry about it. If he's an illusion specialist, I'll step in for you, she said. As she said a rather smug tone as she folded her arms while she said as well. As Naruto remembered this little scuffle between them about which art is better. He knew if he said something right now, their discussion would go on till they reached the capital. So he decided just to be quiet. A few minutes passed as they saw the outskirts of the capital. The three Genins gasped as they saw it. Naruto and Kurna were already used to the size, but still, it was quite a sight to be seen when you were seen for the first time. Kurna issued her team to do some recon through the city and told them to meet her and Naruto up back at the daimyo's castle. As Naruto asked Kurna if letting them wander in the city wouldn't arouse suspicion, Kurna dismissed that they were Genins. So, the possible threat that they were probably looking for was a D-rank threat. As Naruto thought about it, she was right. If either she or he was caught now, the target would know that something was wrong and probably try to flee. The both of them knew that Hito was close to the daimyo, so it wouldn't be a surprise if he simply asked for a random check to find out why there are ninjas around them. They came up with a perfect alibi, saying that they were a couple from Lightning Country that were just taking in the sights. Kurna turned towards Naruto. Okay, Naruto, but don't you dare try to improve the relationship of the alibi, she said. I swear if you do that, I'm gonna neuter you, she said. But he got a bit angry. You can't possibly think that I would do this to both you and you, Geo-chan. I thought you knew me better than that. She waved her hand in apology. It's... Sorry, she said. The last time I did this with another ninja, he thought that by touching me would show that we were a real couple. I'm sorry, I guess that image just overlapped in my mind, she said. Well, you don't have to worry about it, said Naruto. She nodded, as the both of them made a hand sign for the transformation jutsu. Her black hair became blonde, and her eyes transformed to black, and she was wearing a grey kimono. Naruto's hair changed from blonde to black, as he had a ponytail. The blue eyes were now green, and he was wearing a suit that got a questioning look from Kunai. As Naruto said that this disguise was used a lot, well, he saw a lot of men in business suits. No one would think that this was a hench. The suit represents some powerful businessman, and given that this is the capital of Fire Country, there will be more businessmen here than ninjas from Konoha invest. Kunai nodded as she applauded his smart thinking. After that, they made their way. They knew where the man resident was, where he was located, as they took the path, acting like a normal couple just browsing around the city. The buildings were at least twice the size of Konoha's, but it wasn't something they couldn't handle by just pushing a bit of shocker to their feet, as they were studying the layout and everything, because this mission was going to last for another 2 weeks. And the population stayed to themselves just talking, and they could mingle quite easily with the crowd, so they could escape if need be necessary or not to be seen. This place is twice as crowded as Konoha during the day. We need to see how the man house is guarded and set up a perimeter near to it, Kunai whispered. Naruto nodded as they continued to walk towards their target residence. You know, it's strange though. We haven't seen a single shadow of the city police anywhere. Hito is close to the daimyo. Knowing what he's doing, I think he would use the daimyo guards to guard the place quite well. Kunai nodded as he was right, as the both of them made their way as they saw the man house on the horizon. The place was a mansion with 3 floors. It was surrounded, the street was curved around, and samurais were located there as well. The both of them could spot samurais doing a scout around the perimeter, checking the place to ensure the man's safety. As Naruto counted 4 at the front and Kunai saw 2 more at the back. All they have to do now is observe the samurai pattern to find out the appropriate time to invade the house. That being said, they went to a local restaurant as they asked for a place near Hito's residence. As Kunai got black coffee, she poured sugar in as she stirred, as she savored the taste. As she glanced towards Naruto, sometimes she just wondered about his future with the older woman, how things were gonna pan out, as it was still kind of strange for her that Yujiro could be so comfortable with someone that she had to babysit when he was 4. It was a strange concept to say the least. Why don't we establish fake names for ourselves for the conversation, said Kunai. Well, you could call me Kenshin. I haven't used his name for my undercover missions. How about you? Kunai wondered how many undercover missions that he's done for him to think of a permanent undercover name. Miseo is my name, Kunai said. So Kenshin, I wonder if I could ask a personal question. Naruto nodded as he wondered, what personal question does she want to ask? Tell me about your relationship. As she had hardly seen Yujiro most of the time, considering that she was always stuck up at Envu HQ, so she never get to ask her. As Naruto faked ignorance, what are you talking about, Miseo-chan? You're asking about my relationship with you. I don't follow, he said. Funny, she said, as he decided to tell her after a while. She was really curious, as she hadn't seen Yujiro, so she wanted to know if things were going along well with them. Meanwhile, with Team 8, Shino was annoyed. Even Hinata was a bit annoyed, even though she would never say it out loud. Kiba was acting like a fangirl towards Naruto, as Hinata had heard a lot about him from her cousin Neji, and for the information that Neji didn't provide, her uncle Hisashi did. Shino for his part didn't know much. His father mentioned something about the Namikaze Naruto living up to his father's reputation, but he didn't really thought a lot about it. Man, I can't believe I'm on a mission with the Winged Dragon. Did I told you guys about the time he used that wing technique to send 3 Jonins flying like rocks? Hinata sighed in dismay, as Shino eyes started twitch. Kiba, you've been telling this story since we started the mission. I know that Naruto-san is quite famous, but you can tone it down a bit. You just don't get how awesome he is, said Kiba, with a proud smile on his face, as he couldn't believe that he was really on this mission, as he couldn't wait for the fighting to start, as he wanted to see him in action. The other 2 just simply shook their head. He was really taking this overboard. As they continued, their stomachs started to rumble, as they made their way to get something to eat, not knowing that Kiba thoughts were right, and very soon they will actually see the Winged Dragon in full force. After all, this mission as it seemed rather calm and peaceful at first. Things always become more dangerous when Naruto was around, and this was no exception, so they better be ready. But guys, to be in episode right here, if you want to see the next part of this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also stay in tune for the rest of what is coming your way. I'm going to be posting a brand new episode of What If Naruto Became the God of Wind over an anime king. So stay in tune for that, and I do hope that you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, but I'm out for now. See you guys soon, guys. Peace.
Build my throne.